Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baz, WELDERFABBER. And today we're going to start this channel with me going over to Crewe to collect some rollers for our old new bandsaw. Well, if you remember in a previous chapter, this was the bandsaw that I bought 25 years ago, brand new. And they decided to buy it back. So we was waiting on that part, this arm, which is coming in today apparently. Alright, so Jonathan from Clarence Jones Machinery is going to come down and fit that. We've had all the electric sockets fitted, haven't we? So the actual that saw there is going to go here in this position. We'll plug it in there, and I want to make all the cantilever racking. So we've got a few lads coming back off site tomorrow, and we're going to get all this racking up on the wall. So I want the saw fitted, the racking up, and then I'm going to look at making the beds for the rollers. Well, I'm buying the rollers, we just need to make the frames for the beds to sit on. You know, so this first thing in the morning. Callum is coming in shortly to do this bucket for Barton Contractors. Basically refit the hangers. They are in the new position where they need to be. I just want rid of all this lot here, and then we're going to tie back to the bucket with a better idea. Can you see it's a bit of a home fix job, old hanger kind of thing. Yeah, well, as long as it fits the machine, it'll be a reet. So I'm going to head over to Crewe, get these rollers, get back, and I'll get the steel ordered for the next wash ramp that we're doing. Rollers back. We'll make our own frame for them now, just to suit the height of our saw. That dryer frame's complete, just waiting on an inspection before it gets welded. All dimensions will be checked before it's welded. Same with that one there. Hangers are changed on this little bucket. Some extra wear plates in the bottom there. So that is now at the angle that the customer wants. Barton Contractors. Did you open the hole up, Cal? Did you open that little hole up? Yeah. Oh yeah, that little hole. If anything, it needed to go that way.
Yeah, when he was sliding it out, there was a big burr catcher.
Was there?
You can see it making a gouge in the pin line.
Right, sound. He'll be here in a minute to pick that up. Alright. So Cal's going out on site all day today. He's going to go and fit this little eye to a trailer. So that is a 10-ton one, if you can see that there. You can get 5 and 10-ton ones then. So thanks to Transports for that, Walton Summit. Get all the truck parts off Transports. We've got hard facing cal, yeah? So we've got 2 different wires there to try. We've got this one here, this robotic 600. And we'll see it, and that's another one we've got to try. I can't remember the name of that one though. Trying both today. Do you know what I mean? See how they play out. Yeah. Yeah, with hard facing, it's like you can get a lot of spatter off some wires, and you can get smooth. Do you know what I mean? Or you can move over to dual shield. Yeah. So that's a little bit of flux and gas at the same time. You know. So just want to see how it works out today on that. Yeah. That's over at Pete Marquis's. Alright. All one at lads, as you know. But yeah, this is Cal's setup for those people who haven't seen it before. He's got his gas bottles, his little compressor, and his 2 welders there. Warrior and the Shindauer. Alright, I'll actually come over with you, yeah? Alright? I'll come over with you and just make sure everything's right. Alright. We'll just wait for Neil. Neil's coming to pick the bucket up. Alright, so Neil's here to pick his bucket up. This is Jacob. How you doing, my little man? We're gonna go do some work at the farm soon and do some welding with Jacob and show him a little bit of how to use the gun. But he's his dad now driving the tractor. Neil. The one, I will just lock it on with the lock. Does that need to go more, Neil, that? Locked in there. Proper tractor that. Is it a good bus that now?
It's alright, yeah.
Is it?
When you get used to it.
When you get used to it?
Yeah.
How do you control it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, because it's a bit computerised, so it gets you out when you get older.
You need to learn how to drive that, Jacob, don't you? Get some boots on them, get some blocks on them little boots.
That's it.
When you get a little bit older.
Yeah.
So what are you using this bucket for now?
We're filling a concrete mixer with it, basically, a 6 cube wagon. So we just lift it above, and obviously because it's like a funnel, the bucket, it lets us drop it in the wagon.
So why did you do the angle changing on the hangers?
Because when you crowd your headstock back, the bucket wasn't level enough, so you couldn't actually fill the bucket properly. You could only get half a bucket full.
Right, with you.
And then as well, when you lift it over the wagon, the bucket's on too much of an angle facing forward.
Right.
So when you open the shutters on the bottom,
the
angle of the bucket kind of tries shooting the
stone
down, you know what I mean, too far back.
So you just needed that just a little bit more?
Yeah, just that bit more, but that'll do nicely, that way, yeah.
So you're going to replace that chain?
Yeah, just looking at that really, it's not just closing enough, is it? So
you see there at the bottom?
could do another.
them links have stretched. Them links have stretched, so once you put that link up, that'll pull up tight. You can see it, can't you? Have you got a bit of chain back at yours?
Yeah, we'll find something, yeah.
Right, sound. You happy enough with that?
Happy enough, yeah, good job that. Thanks very much.
Good, good. Yeah. And we'll be coming down to the farm soon, won't we, Jacob? Yeah. Doing a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, sound. Alright, mate, I better get on.
Alright.
Alright.
Have a good day.
Okay, so I'm just going to head over to Fleetwood now to a customer and price a job. And then on the way back, I'm going to go to see Callum at Pete Marquis's. He's doing some hard facing and he's just fitted an eye to a Fairmanville trailer. I have just spoke to the customer that I went to see last week about the loading shovel bucket, that they wanted a full hit on it basically, and we didn't get the order for that as they thought it was too expensive. Now then I tried to get across to them, there's certain ways of doing a bucket. You know, there's a cheap way of doing it, which is just using cheap material, and there's an expensive way of doing it, which makes the bucket last 3, 4 times, 5 times longer. Now, a bucket will last forever if you continue to change the wear parts on it when they're needed to be changed, yeah? So, you know, you see these buckets with all the bits on them, that all the added extras on them, wear parts. When them wear parts wear down, they need to be replaced before it gets to the original skin of the bucket, yeah? Then your bucket's going to last a lot longer. Now then, I priced that job. There was £5,000 worth of materials in that job alone, and the price that I put in was very low, really, because I wanted to get the job into the workshop for you guys to see as doing another loader bucket for somebody else. And that particular customer come to me from Hurt Plant. They passed it over to me because their lads in fab shop and they're not capable of doing that kind of work. Yeah, so it was like, that's the first job that I've been to price that don't know me. So they didn't know me, do you know what I mean? They never heard of WELDERFABBER, and so I kind of think they don't realise what value is in Hardox material, put it that way. You know, if you want your bucket to last a long time, then you better put in good material into it, you know, and unfortunately we didn't get that order. Also, what I'm finding is there's a few companies out there that want us to work to their terms, right? So their terms is 60 days till plus end of month. Well, that's 90 days, yeah? That ain't happening. Not in a million years will I do work for people on 60 days, then plus I have to wait another 30 days, so 90 days. Now then, they ring me up and say, yeah, these are our terms, and I'll say, whoa, hang on a minute. They're your terms, these are my terms, yeah? My terms are 7 to 14 days, yeah? If that's not good enough for you, and I ain't working for you, yeah? Now I'm going to stick to my guns, and that's what they are, right? So, yeah, I'll definitely lose work from it, right? But I'm not bothered, you know, so you stick with the customers that are going to pay you within a month, put it that way. You know, if I get paid within a month, I'm happy with that. But at the moment, I'm getting paid bang on before the job goes out, or I'm getting paid on 7 days on labour only jobs. So I don't see why I should veer off that. I don't see why I should finance other people's jobs, especially when there's material involved, do you know, which a couple of the jobs that I've priced have materials involved, and they want me to wait 60 days. Well, that ain't happening on a new starter company, do you know, so yeah, that's where we're at. So I'll get over to look at this work, then we'll go and see Callum and see how he's getting on with at Pete Marquis's. So I just arrived in Pete's yard after my meeting. That meeting did go well. We talked about payment terms and they agreed to my payment terms, so that's good. It is a supply only job, so we'll go into that into the coming weeks. This is the eye that Callum has just fitted. As you can see, he's cut corner of the bracket out there to get that eye in, rather than cutting the whole thing out, because you've got to buy the whole unit to just get that. And then when you are buying these, make sure you get the right ones. Can you see that's loading of 10 tons? You can get 5 ton ones. Make sure you get the right ones. So that's just showing you an easy way of getting them eyes in. Right, we'll go round to the other yard now and check out the munchers with the hard facing. Welding alright, Cal? Welding alright?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Have a full day welding there now. Building them up. So you want to try and get that up to a point. Remember, there's much. Build all this up round here. Yeah. Alright. Just keep turning it wherever you need to turn it. Yeah, he's got his little cam set up there, look. You see how it's got close. Alright, well that needs turning now, that edge, before it starts wearing into the main edge. When I mentioned before about wear parts, that's what I mean. Catch them in time. So that's catching it in time now before it starts wearing this away. Not bad machines, all these Hyundais, you know. You'd think they're a cheap machine, wouldn't you? But they're actually quite a good bus. Lad who runs this Ford anyway, he loves it. Ford Marshall. And when you're done, that there's another one to do, but you probably won't get on that today. Alright. All round here, Cal.
Yeah.
As much weld as you can on it, yeah? It don't need to be pretty, it just needs plenty of weld on it. You know what I mean?
Try and make it as pretty as we can, though, can't we?
Yeah. Alright. Yeah. whilst I'm out on the road, let's just talk about bikes. So I had a good read through the comments on last week's chapter, and very mixed views about having a bike. Right, so I have made my mind up what I'm doing, and what made me mind up, what made me make my mind up, was having my daughter over the weekend. All right, and there is, you know, we're not getting any younger. I think really I need to take a step back and tell you a little bit about me as a younger person. All right, so when I was younger, I used to race motocross bikes from the age of, say, 6 up to about 30 years old, and then obviously you break bones, don't you? You don't think anything of it, you recover, you get back on the bike, you go again, no problem. Right, and then I got into road bikes, had a couple of R6s, had a couple of R1s, and it's that when you're riding a bike and you're I was a lunatic, I'll be honest with you. I was a lunatic on a bike, on the road, on the track, and you know, you've got to know when enough is enough. And I sold my bike a week after that my dad passed away on a bike. Yeah, we both had R1s. My dad passed on an R1. I had an R1 at the time. And like I say, I was a lunatic. I'll give you a typical example. You know, I'd get on the bike, I'd be up back wheel everywhere and doing everything that you shouldn't do when you're young and not giving a care in the world. Yeah, we was going down the road one day. I had my mates in a car next to me. I was up back wheel going past them, waving at them, kind of thing. And as I come to this bend in Croston, if the lads are watching, they'll remember it well. Yeah, I came to this bend going way too fast, and I thought to myself, going back into my motocross head, I'll treat the bend like a berm, yeah. But bank the bike over, stick my leg out, and chuck the bike into the curb and use it as a berm, right? And as I went into the corner and touched the curb, the bike flipped me over straight through the hedge, big thorn bush hedge. I only had a t-shirt and jeans on, stupid, yeah, on a bike, and I dropped 2 or 3 foot down into a field. The bike just toppled over and landed back on its wheels and leant against the hedge, right? All this happened right in front of my mate's eyes. Anyway, I jumps back through the hole in the hedge, right? Goes over to the bike, gets back on the bike, looking at it, not thinking much about it, adrenaline, trying to start the bike, and my mate's got out of the car like, "Baz, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "We're going for an Italian, aren't we?" And they're like, "Yeah, but you just come off bike." I'm like that, bike fired, right? Bike started, right? I went, I'll meet you down at restaurant. So I'm cut to bits at this point, yeah. All my arms are cut, t-shirts ripped, jeans are ripped, right? And no number plate on bike smashed on one side. Anyway, I drove to restaurant, gets there, my mates are like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden it come at me. Do you know what I mean? It's like the adrenaline starts to go, and then you realise what's just happened. Do you know? And I'm like, whoa, wow. Do you know? And it was a bit of a surreal moment, that, right? And but it didn't stop me riding bikes. You know, the only time, but that's what I'm saying, that's what I was like on a bike. I was an idiot. And you know, you live and learn, don't you? Right? And I got back on that bike the other day, that BMW, and I felt that little bit of adrenaline in me that wanted to go again, you know. And I thought, my reactions aren't as fast as they used to be. You know, I'm nowhere near the man that I was on a bike all them years ago, yeah. And the day that my dad passed away, was on my son Max's 3rd birthday. He'd just gone out for a quick ride on his bike, never came home, right? And I actually bought Max a little supermoto for going on tracks. You know, when he gets a little bit older, I thought I'll start him young, you know. And that night we smashed the bikes to bits, me, the director, down, and a few other lads, smashed it to bits with sledgehammers. Brand new bike. And we said we'd never ride bikes again. You know, and I sold the R1 there a week later. And I know my brother Dan's got one, but he's a lot more sensible than me, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to riding bikes. And driving cars, do you know what I mean? You know, I'm the kind of guy that used to, you know, if you do know my history, I had my own company years ago, and I was flying. I thought I was invincible. I'd buy a new M3 every 6 months. I've had over 14 M3s and I've had over 6 X5s, brand new ones out the box. You know, and that's just a couple of things. We're talking RS4s, C63 AMG Mercs. I've had them all, right? And when you take that knock in business like I did, then that all had to stop, you know. So anyway, I've decided, looking at my daughter riding the bike, I can't put her through the pain that I went through if anything was to happen to me. So I've decided not to get a bike. All right. And not only that, you know, I mean, you just need to look at the director now. The director, you don't see much of the director on camera. Well, you're not seeing him anywhere, but you don't see much of the director filming because he's finding it hard to stay on his feet because of the accident that he had with his foot. Not on a bike, but he had a bad accident. And in fact, I'll put a picture on screen now of his foot. So if you're, it's a bit gory, but have a look at this picture on screen now. All right. And if he has more than a few hours walking around, he can't really walk anymore. He's in pain, you know. So that's why we try and keep him in the background editing now, and we try and do the filming ourselves. So yeah, there's a little bit of a backstory on me and the reason why I'm not buying a bike. But most importantly, my daughter, my mother, she got on me about it a lot, and the director got on me not to get one. But life's short, you've got to live for it, but I've also got to make sure my daughter is got everything that she needs in life. You know, she's a big part of everything. And my son Max, who's actually just left Canada now because of the wildfires. He's come out of Canada. The wildfire's gone right through Jasper, and he is actually on a plane to Spain to meet his mother on holiday, and he's going to have 2 weeks in Spain, then he's going to come home, and then we're going to decide what he's going to do moving forward, whether he stays in England or goes back to Canada, because he does work for CN Railroad, and that's a good job to leave behind, you know, rather than maybe find a new location to live in Canada. But that's on him. So I'll get Max on cam when he gets back to England. Okay guys, also today we've got a bobcat that needs an idler replacing. The customer diagnosed it, so I ordered an idler from Steve Woods Limited at Wigan there. I'm going to go and pick the idler up. We're going to go to the bobcat, pull the track off, just make sure there's no other damage within the track frame, change the idler, and then we might jump over to the dozer to weld some wings on it. I think it's a 726 Libra or a 736 Libra, and we'll get them wings welded on and put it on camera for you guys to see. Just landed at Steve Woods, me and our Cal. We've just dropped his van off at VW for health check.
Software update and a new key.
Health check, software update and a new key. And we've just landed at Steve Woods Limited. And we're after an idler for a little bobcat. And I'd say that's it. I'll go and see Phil, just make sure that is the right one. Looks like it to me. And we'll get to site and fit it. But just look at the range that they have in here of parts. For all your undercarriage parts on any machine, give these guys a try, because they stock pretty much everything. As you will have seen on previous chapters. And there he is yourself. The main one. How you doing, Mom? Alright, buddy? It's been a while.
Yeah, not bad, mate.
It's been a while.
How's things? Keeping busy?
Busy, mate. Very busy. Very busy.
Yeah, good.
Just want to tell our viewers what you're stocking here.
Yeah, so basically everything undercarriage wise. Track chains, track pads, up until like 70, 80 ton excavators, bulldozers, then mini excavator stuff as well.
The lot.
Everything in between.
I mean, I rung you on Thursday, you got in Friday for me, didn't you?
Yes.
That little, is it that one outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Odd one.
yeah, massive range. So we'll get to site and fit that. And we've never done one on a bobcat. I can't see it being out aired about it.
No,
Yeah.
you just got the two dowels on the end, it just sits inside the recess, that's all.
Yeah,
It's not like a bolt-on job.
I just hope it is that, because the customer has diagnosed it, and if it's not, then it still lands on their toes. You know, it's one of them, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, the picture sent me didn't look sticking out too far. Like.
No, it didn't look that bad, did it, on pictures, but you never know. Anyway, we'll get to site and get it fitted. So that is the one. Should be pretty easy to lift that colt.
It's for me.
There's no weight in that, you see. Watch your fingers. 7 fingers. Got a couple of edges here that we need to weld some wings on a Libra dozer, so I'm going to see if I can fit that in today as well whilst we're out on the road together. And I also want to test the Shindawa to see if it'll run the MIG and the stick at the same time on low amps, because if we're doing vertical welding on the blade, the amps will be low, so maybe be able to run. I might be able to show you stick welder versus the MIG welder on vertical welding, but we'll only know when we get to site. So we're just over in Warrington here now, this little bobcat. Just want to show you the movement within the idler. Can you see the idler jumping about? So there's something definitely wrong there. What we'll do, we'll just release the grease valve, we'll let the grease out, let the track drop, pull the track off, pull the idler out, and compare it to this one here. Straightforward job. Little cap set up for you. But we'll show you inside the track frame once we pull the track off. So we'll just pull the track off. Well, there's your problem. Stick that back in, put track back on, pump it up, job done. So you can see there's zero movement within the idler now. Sound like, mate? So I'll now give Pilkey a call to see if we can get to the dozer to put these wings on. Nice straightforward job, that little bobcat. I thought it was a different type of bobcat, to be fair. I thought it was like a little skid steer. I didn't know it was a little digger like that. Anyway, job done. On to the next one. Just arrived at the dozer, 726. And we want to be putting some wings on the end of the blade here. From there, down to there. Both sides. Straightforward enough. Key should be in it, let's have a look. There we go, there we go. Tracking the machine round to the van now. Fairly new machine this. So my plan is to put a piece of edge on the outside of the blade here. Keep it on the outside. On some dozers you can sit them on the inside edge, but on Libras I like to put them on the outside so we can get a nice weld on back of there. So we've got some 250 by 25 edge in the van. So we'll cut like 2 half moons out of them, if you will. Use the Warrior. And like I said, I'm going to try and weld with the stick welder and the Warrior at the same time. But I don't know if the Shindawa's got enough power to do it on the amps that I want to do it at, so we'll see. But I do know the new one that's coming out will have. That you'll find out later on in this year. But with this little 300 amp, whether it'll run the stick set and the MIG set, we are going to find out. Let's get set up. So we've just clamped it on. I want it to run level with the blade at the top. If we just cut that chalk line now, and then what we can do is just sit it back so it goes down the side of the blade rather than actually on the blade. Some dozers you can put them on the blade. This one I'm going to put down the side of the blade. And we just want it sticking past the edge at the bottom. So I can cut that at 90 degrees now with the gas. I'll tack it to the blade, as you'll see in a second. Well, it'll be on time lapse. Before we do any welding on these, not the isolator, yeah. So it's on the right on the side of the blade. Alright, so we're going to use the Harris torch. Just preheat the material a little bit before you start the cut. And then I'll cut through it like butter. Just going to go from the back side of the short line. Vibrating it now then. All the way past vibration. So if you do a stop, you want to start your cut on the material that you're not using well. So we're going to start at this side and then work our way back. So what we'll do now, we'll clean that up and get Callum welding and then I'll start cutting the next one. So now we've got them both tacked on, we're getting a lot of wind. So we're just going to move the van round a little bit. See how we're getting porosity in the weld. We're going to try and move the van in a better position to block the wind. Really we should be running dual shield wire today, and which you have a little bit of flux or a flux core wire. But we're running solid wire in the mix, so we have to use the gas. And when you're using the gas outside, you can get issues with the wind now and again. 80% of the time you're alright, but now we're just going to manoeuvre the van. So the wind is coming this way. We're just blocking it with a van. Although I can feel it coming this way a little bit now. But stood here, can't feel any wind at all, so we can do a nice vert up that. And I'm going to try the stick welder as well at the same time. Dozer wings, that's what they are, dozer wings. So the Shindauer will run the stick set and the MIG set at the same time, yeah? I'm going to use a 7016 backpack, just opened. So Cal can do one side and I can do the other. But stick welding, slower than using a MIG. But we're going to run both sets now. Go. doors are done. One pass on each side. Plenty. They'll see the life of the blade then now. Shindauer impresses me again. Shindauer all the way. Back to the workshop. So we just picked Cal's van up from Volkswagen Preston. That's all been, got a clean bill of health today. Mainly went in for a key because when we bought it, it didn't have a key with it. And anyway, racking's up. The boys have put the racking up today whilst we've been out. And we're probably going to get that certified, that racking. Get a ticket on it, just to make sure it's right. There is a few more bits to put on it, like where we've got tube on it. We want to have a, so like an end cap on that comes up so tube can't roll off. You know what I mean? Flat bars, you want to keep them like they are, so because they bore, don't they, as you try and pull them off. The saw's in position, just got to get that wired in. We've got the rollers that we've got to make frames for. So it's slowly starting to come on now, to look more like a fab shop. Over our little stores area here, I think I'm going to put a mezzanine floor up there, a little mezz up there, and make a little work bay up there. Do away with that bit of a racking over at compressor. Try and find a new compressor. And yeah, I think that's a good bit working area up there that we're wasting really, just having that little bit of a stores area there. So the director's come in with a GoPro 12. It would be interesting to see what the picture quality, if there's any difference at all. And yeah, I think we'll end this chapter here and now. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.